All right, guys, welcome back to the Director's Guide to Growing Your Photo Day Program. I want to first start by saying thanks for all the awesome response we've got from everyone, giving us some really awesome feedback. I'm glad to hear that we're helping everybody out, and we look forward to giving you some more great information. So, quick review. Some of the stuff that we've been talking about. The first week we did the costly misconceptions of your photo day program. Then last week we did the 3 dangers of choosing the wrong photographer. And this week we're going to talk about the 4 industry ripoffs and how to avoid them. And then next week we'll be back with the mistakes to avoid when choosing a photographer. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about how to create an organized, hassle-free, and fun photo day program. So let's get right to it. Let's go with the 4 industry ripoffs and how to avoid them. So let me preface this. I'm going to make some people angry today, and I'm fully aware of that. It's going to be my colleagues. But not most of them. So I do want to be a little bit careful with how I choose my words here. But to be blunt and frank with you, the photography industry has gotten a bad rap over the last few years, actually over the last, I don't know, couple decades probably. But what I'm here to do is not to rip on the industry as a whole. Yes, we have had a few bad apples that have spoiled the whole bunch, as they say, but that's not the case with all photography companies. And in fact, that's not the case with most photography companies. There's very few that you really need to be careful of. And I'm not here to name names or anything along those lines. What I'm here to do is to arm you, a league director, with the knowledge and the know-how to make sure that you protect your league and your patrons. And that's really all I'm going to say. Again, I'm not a lawyer or anything. I'm just a sports guy that loves photography, but I do want to share some things with you that I think are going to be really valuable to you. So let's get right to it. So one of the biggest ripoffs that the industry is notorious for is we all know that if you pay your commission based on packages and not on a percentage of gross revenue, you as the photographer save a lot of money. So you as a league director, you want to make sure that that's not the way that your commission is set up. If I pay just on packages, then I am not going to pay you anything for any of the a la carte items that I sell. And sometimes there will be leagues where 40% of gross sales will be of a la carte items, in which case you as a league would have gotten nothing from that. So you want to make sure that you're set up so you're going to get a percentage of gross revenue, and then that's going to protect you all along the way. Now, closely related to that is the myth that I don't have to report all my sales to you because you as the league, you're never going to know what I actually sold. This is probably borderline illegal. It's certainly unethical and perhaps criminal. But here's how you can protect yourself. You as the league need to demand that the photographer provides a full breakdown of all sales at the conclusion of each season. This is totally easy for them to do. There's reports, if they're using their own lab, there's reports that they can pull themselves. If they outsource everything to another lab, their lab is able to provide those reports. But you should be able to find out exactly what each league buys. So you should know on this day, this is how many packages number 1 we sold, here's how many number 2s we sold, and that can get broken down as far as you want to take it. But make sure that it is very clear in your contract that the photographer is responsible for providing a full breakdown of all sales at the conclusion for each season. And if they're paying you a percentage of their gross sales, there should be no problem with them doing this. They're going to need to produce that anyway so that they can know how much to write your check for. All right, and let's get to number 3. This one, again, I'm not a lawyer, but this one seems to be borderline illegal, and maybe not even borderline. So even if you lose the bid, you can still contact the coaches from last year. So what that means is oftentimes as a photographer, you're going to accumulate a database over the time period that you work with the league. And some of that data will be provided to you from the league, and then some of that you'll collect on your own. So you need to make really sure that in your contract that there's language in there that protects your database. So if you give coaches information to a league or to a photographer, that's not the photographer's information. When your contract expires, they're no longer allowed to use that. So you need to make sure that that is in your contract. There are certainly photographers around that have done that in the past. And I just want to make sure that you are aware that there's things you need to do to protect yourself from that. And what happens when you don't do that, then you choose a new photographer. And that new photographer emails all the coaches saying, hey guys, we're the new photographer, look forward to doing your pictures. And then the very same day goes out an email that says, hey, I'm the old photographer, look forward to doing your pictures. And now you have your whole league is confused, no one knows who to use or what the truth is. So you can totally avoid that mess just by protecting yourself with the language that you add into your contract. All right, now this one, again, I'm not a lawyer, but this one I know is illegal. But parents pay up front. So as an unethical photographer, you can make a ton of money if you never fulfill the orders. So what do I mean by that? This happens every year. We deal with at least one league that is on the backside of having dealt with this. So they will hire a photographer. The photographer will come in and will do their pictures, maybe for just one season, maybe for multiple seasons. And then at some point, the photographer will just go out of business. And they'll take all the money from that year, but they won't print any pictures. They won't deliver any pictures to the actual customers. So this is, again, pretty simple to protect. That is not how normal, not how really any reputable photography company works. But there are some that are not reputable. There's some companies that you probably should not have chose to work with in those cases. So how could they have known that? So the very first thing they need to do is you've got to check references. You have to require references, and you actually have to call them. If you don't call them, you're never going to know what that reference would have said. Because oftentimes, just because they list someone as a reference, that's someone they did work with, they may no longer be working with them, and they're just banking on the fact that you're a busy league director and you're not going to be able to call all the references. Another thing that you should definitely require is a list of at least 50 testimonials. And again, any reputable company is going to be able to produce that really easily. But that's something that you want to be able to look and see, hey, who are these testimonials from, and are they saying good stuff or not? Because you can't have 50 brothers and sisters that are going to write those testimonials for you. You're going to actually have to have real customers that know you, like you, and trust you to get you those testimonials. And again, almost all reputable companies will have that. That's easy for them to produce for you, but it's just something real simple. You can say, hey, I need references, and I'm going to call them, and I need a list of 50 or more testimonials, and I'm going to read through those. So there are your 4 industry ripoffs. Now let's chat real quick about the Photo Day scorecard system. Again, it's guaranteed to identify 3 areas for improvement in your Photo Day program, and we're going to offer easy to implement improvement strategies for $97. That's what we told you last time. Again, we're going to extend it. This is the last time that we're going to extend it, though. It's going to be for 7 more days. It will be totally free. If you click the link below, we'll get you scheduled. Don, my father, or myself will be happy to do that with you. Go ahead and you can click that right now, and we can get rolling. We'll get that scheduled. And again, thanks so much for all the feedback. If you haven't already given us feedback, go right below here and shoot us some feedback. Let us know what you think of this information. And if you have any need to get a hold of us, please feel free to do so, and we'd be happy to discuss your Photo Day program with you. Thanks, and have a great day.